Good evening, whakalawhatu, and welcome to tonight's bulletin of BCN News. Leading the news tonight, the Health Department is about to roll out a hepatitis B and C screening program for the entire adult population on the island. This fully funded initiative by a group of academics and a hepatitis advocate from Otago hope to screen, treat and eliminate this disease from Niue.
There has been a study before, that screening before, and we found that about 10 people in Niue have got a positive hepatitis. And hepatitis can lead on to liver cirrhosis or chronic liver disease, and can lead on to liver cancer.
The program includes free treatment for people who have tested positive for the disease. Dr. Eddie Akawala says that the treatment for hepatitis B and C is also very expensive, so this screening and treatment program is very important, and it will be of great benefit to Niue to eliminate the disease from the island.
They will bring the treatment free of charge, because one treatment for one person will cost more than $100,000. And that is a big step forward for Niue. We are so lucky that they use Niue because of our small population and only one island. I think the next step that they are looking at is to look into Cook Islands. But the problem with Cook Island is that it's in multiple different islands, and it's more difficult to tackle Cook Island. That's why they decided to start with Niue. And if that ever happens and they bring the treatment for Niue, then Niue will be the first island in the Pacific and in the world to eliminate hepatitis B and C.
Adults on the island are encouraged to contact the front desk at the Niue Fall Hospital to register your name to be screened. You will also be completing a short questionnaire which is printed in both Wangahau and English versions. The Health Department says that the screening process will take some 6 weeks, and the program is expected to reveal their findings on the 29th of July, which is the International Hepatitis Awareness Day. From the Whānau-i-ke-Pule yesterday, Richard Hepa, the chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee, presented a well-detailed report on the financial situation of the government for the first quarter of this current financial year. The government's books for the quarter ending 30th September 2020, the committee reported a loss for that quarter of $874,000. This loss is attributed to unexpected maintenance costs, as well as unexpected costs such as medical evacuation flights and unpaid invoices that should have been paid in the last financial year, but were paid during this first quarter of this current financial year. Richard Hepa says that this is not ideal, but the committee is satisfied that steps are being taken to improve the financial situation of the government going forward, considering the financial and economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Hepa reported that capacity concerns continue to hinder the work of the Treasury Department. The Public Service Commission has also started recruitment processes to secure additional staff for the department. BCN News will bring you more stories from the outcome of that first sitting of the Whānau-i-ke-Pule. And at the same meeting of the Whānau-i-ke-Pule, Premier Honourable Dalton Tangelangi announced that the Forum Island leaders at a marathon meeting appointed the former Prime Minister of the Cook Islands, Honourable Henry Puna, as the new Secretary General of the Pacific Islands Forum Secretariat. The footage is from Henry Puna's last visit to Niue in September of 2019. The final vote was between Henry Puna and Micronesia's candidate, Marshall Islands Ambassador to the US, Gerald Sarkoos. International media reported that the vote was very close, with Puna winning by 1 vote, 9 members voting for the Cook Island former Prime Minister, and 8 votes for the Marshallese diplomat. Henry Puna will replace the outgoing Secretary General, Dame Meg Taylor from Papua New Guinea, who has served at the helm of the regional organisation for the past 6 years. And the Niue High Court, in its decisions last year, declined the applications from 2 families for a coroner's inquest to the deaths of their loved ones. Here's more on that story. In his decisions, Chief Justice Coxhead explained that he declined both applications because the 1964 Inquest Act is limited in terms of its purpose. According to the law, the purpose of inquest is to establish the fact that a person has died, the identity of the deceased person, and the when, where, and how the death occurred. In both cases, all this information was known. The two applications include one by the family of former Cabinet Minister Aukuso Pavihi, who passed away on 10 January 2019 of a ruptured abdominal aortic aneurysm due to hypertension as a consequence of diabetes. The family applied to the High Court for a formal investigation into the events leading up to his death while he was a patient of the Nuefo Hospital. The court noted in its decision that because of the concerns raised by the Pavihi family, the Health Department has reflected on their processes and have determined improved steps so families in Niue can remain confident in the services of the Nuefo Hospital and the wider Health Department. The second application for an inquest into the death of Mr. Lovini filed by his family. Mr. Lovini passed away on January 29, 2019 of pneumonia superimposed on COPD emphysema. In his decision, the judge encouraged the Health Department to give serious consideration to the matters raised in the application and to reflect on their processes and procedures and determine whether there are steps that can be taken to improve systems. As part of a community program by the Niue Met Office on community-based early warning systems, an access ramp was officially opened at the village of Toi yesterday morning. Our camera was there to capture the small event. Early yesterday morning, a small gathering was held at the church of the village of Toi. After their usual Wednesday morning prayers led by the village pastor Reverend Moka Tongakilo, the group gathered outside to officially open the newly built access ramp and doors to the church. In the presence of the Member of Assembly for the village of Toi, Honourable Dion Taufitu, the President of the Ecclesia Niue, Reverend Nuka Tauevihi, cut the first garland of kapihi, followed by the village pastor Reverend Moka Tongakilo and Assistant Pastor Reverend Holo Tafea. There to witness the event was the Director of the Niue Met Office, Mrs. Rosie Misiepo, and the Director General of the Ministry of Natural Resources, Dr. Josie Tamate, and a small gathering of the people of the village and friends of Toi. This project to build a proper access to the building, the church building, is the village of Toi's evacuation center for cyclone season. The program also includes the building of new doors and the procurement of 10 chairs, funded by various partners including SPREP, the World Meteorological Organization, and Canada. This is part of the Niue Met Office community-based early warning systems and disaster risk reduction and traditional knowledge programs. The construction work was completed by local contractor Big Boys Constructions. And a lovely addition to the church building of the village of Toi. In our final news item for the evening, a youth group from Korea has donated face masks for everyone on the island as part of their global charitable work to protect people from the spread of COVID-19. BCN News spoke to Dr. Eddie Akawala, the Director of Health.
A donation from a South Korean group, but originally from Check Ma of China. But the South Korea group was the one that brought it for Niue, and then they worked closely with a gentleman called Regan Tuff at Auckland University, plus Niuean nurse Foulangi. Unfortunately, I don't know his last name and his family root here in Niue, but he is Niuean. And they have been the coordinator from Auckland to Niue with another group, charity organization called Take My Hands from Auckland. They brought a container full of masks, and they are planning to roll it out so that everyone in Niue can have a mask.
The Public Health Division of the Health Department will be organising the distribution of these masks so that every home on the island and everyone in those homes, from children to the elderly, will receive a free mask. And that's the news for tonight. Remember to join me tomorrow morning on Radio Sunshine, a new program we're launching tomorrow from 11 till midday. We'll talk more news and current affairs. But from BCN News and the team, you have a good evening. Good night.